It is called Sri Lanka. It is a relatively small island, but as you're going to find out, if you're a wildlife vet on that island, you have one of the biggest pictures of ecosystems in the world, not least a lot of elephants, as you will see. And our first winner tonight is called Vegeta Pereira. He is a wildlife veterinarian working for the government agency. As you'll see, he said, I didn't know whether I was ever going into wildlife, but what a job he does on this island. And I think the lessons he is learning there will have connotations for many other areas around the globe. And as I've said, this guy, I set him the challenge to film himself with his colleagues, and wait till you see the results of what Vegeta has produced, because we are now going to show you why he is coming up for this award.
I had always passion for wild animals. So I thought I would be a wildlife veterinarian. Sri Lanka is a country that has one of the global biodiversity. So that diversity of the ecosystem, we are very rich in species. Very few people in the world globally who get chance to work as a wildlife vet. So it was my duty to spread my knowledge. I share my experience with the undergraduates. I motivate them to become a wildlife veterinarian because I know personally that this is a highly demanding area in the world now. We are around 40,000 elephants in the Asian elephant in the world. So in Sri Lanka, we are representing about 8,000 elephants. In my place, we are rehabilitating wild elephants in my place. So we are receiving about 15 elephant cows from all around the country to my place for rehabilitation. Elephants are suffering because elephants are getting damaged from this human elephant company. So we have to work on these suffering animals. Maybe do it by doing treatments, and sometimes if the animals are in endangered, life-threatening situation with the conflict, because we have translocate them to one place to other place and introduce him back to the wild. If you take my whole work in the wildlife sector, more than 50% of my works are going on with the elephants. In Sri Lanka, we have 4 different species of wild cats. So these animals are endangered in the country. That's why we do this study, the radio coloring study, to get that vital information for their management. Pangolin is very important animal for Sri Lanka. Even myself, it is one of my favorite animal species. Unfortunately, in many areas now, it is locally extinct. I always try to make attitude that if we can ensure the well-being of wildlife, even animals in the world, animals in your surrounding, if you make them happy, that means you are very happy one.
Before I invite him on the stage, I'd like to introduce two of our presenters tonight. We will slightly change them, who are going to present the medal and also the cheque. First of all, very well known to you is your president, Dr. Patricia Turner, who has been speaking to you already today. So, Patricia, if you would join us just over here. Thank you very much for joining us. And the sponsor and supporter of these awards for 5 years is Ceva Animal Health. And really, our next presenter, Martin Mitchell, together with Zeev Noga from the WVA, really pioneered these awards. So he has been a big supporter. So without further ado, let's invite the amazing wildlife vet and amazing cameraman, Vegeta Pereira, to join us on the stage. A big round of applause. Well done, Vegeta. And look at the camera, guys. Oops. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Vegeta. By the way, if you want a book on how to treat elephants, including all the technical information, Vegeta has written a book all about it and actually presented me with it last night and signed it as well. But Vegeta, I mean, just unbelievable, you and your team. But what does this award really mean to you, Sri Lanka, and the whole world of being a wildlife vet?
Yeah, I think it is an amazing thing for me to have this kind of award. And I think this credit should go to my country because we are hosting 15% of the Asian elephants, though we have a small island. And our people in the country who are keeping them as they are sacred animals in the country. So even my Department of Wildlife Conservation, I'm working there. And I'm very happy to give this credit to all of them. And even my nominator, Dr. Nilmini, she nominated me for this event. So I'm very happy to have this, and I think I got something deserved for me.
And I happen to know, unfortunately, like I live in the UK, we had a civil war in the UK, you've had a very terrible civil war in Sri Lanka, but you and your team worked on both sides of the front line, on both areas, and you managed to save animals in those areas.
Yeah, I think though we had a war in our country, because we are two brothers who make some problems in that time, but we both have same interest to conserve our wildlife in the country. Therefore, I could, and my team can work both in the areas they were controlled by different people, but it doesn't affect for the conservation of this animal because everybody respects this animal. So that was something common for the parties who are fight against.
Well, it's been a privilege to get to know you and a privilege to work with you. And again, congratulations. Please keep up your good work. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to move over from Sri Lanka now to Europe because we have a winner for the European continent. And it's interesting because the winner 2 years ago, because we had to suspend 1 year, but we carried it last year, was also from Sri Lanka. In fact, a colleague of Vegeta, went to the same college, was working with laboratory animals. And we all know this is an extremely controversial area. We need still laboratory animals for research, but a lot has happened over the last few decades about the enrichment of the environment for welfare, for research animals, and also the way those animals are treated. And as you'll see later on with our university winner, alternatives to using live animals for research or actually just learning veterinary techniques. So our next winner actually is resident just outside Copenhagen in Denmark. He's been a very active voice on the enrichment and the handling of research animals, particularly in Europe, where he's led a working group and has advised the European Council on this area. And he told me on our Zoom link that occasionally he was shouted at by veterinarians in the USA when this was suggested. The industry didn't really want it. But now, as you know, this is very much part of the landscape of research animals. So he was one of the leaders and one of the real pioneers in this particular area. His name is Axel Kornerup Hansen, and this is an example of the work that he does.
I had the interest also from my student time myself that there must be something going on with the laboratory animals. There must be something you can do as a vet. It was more the enrichment that you would have in the cages, so there would be some place to hide. There would be some nesting materials because many of them like to build a nest. When I became the chair of this working group under the Council of Europe to come with some proposals, I think quite quickly things started changing. People accepted this is how it should be. We basically spread it through a long range of courses, some basic laboratory animal science courses where we teach animal welfare, animal procedures, animal ethics. And so today we have a generation of scientists who have all started their career with these courses, and I think we will see much more consideration when using animals. That is this really necessary to do? This is the best we can do. Having such a global award will help you bring forward your message, because this will be noted. This work is acknowledged as being important and improving animal welfare, which will make it much easier to discuss what can we do to improve the condition of the animals.
Axel, corner up Hansen, welcome. Hi Axel, thank you for your work. Thank you. Go and get your award. Thank you very much, Axel. I hope you don't mind me telling the people that you were shouted at sometimes, particularly in the USA, but you went through quite a lot of difficult times, didn't you, trying to establish this, but you kept on going. And as you said, the industry actually didn't mind too much. It was often the researchers and the veterinarians who felt that this was impossible.
That was actually a big surprise to me when we started to change the housing conditions of the animals, that those who seems to be most opposing were some of my colleague veterinarians. But I would also like to mention that many of those who shouted have come later and acknowledged that we've still had the COVID-19 vaccines, innovative medicines, fantastic drugs, without actually doing this mistreating the animals as we did before we changed this directive.
And you're very much on trend, for want of a better word. Do you think this subject is not going to go on, but it's going to be modified? There's going to be new regulations and new ways of doing this, or are we where we are now?
I think in a distant world we will not be using animals for research, but there's a road until we get there where we have to give these animals the best lives possible, and that's certainly doable, and there's still much more we can do. We also have to make a more efficient animal research so we don't waste many animals on studies which really do not say too much about human beings.
Well, thank you very much, Axel. Thank you for your work. Fantastic example. And there is rather a clever connection with our next winner, who is from North America, but is the winner of our category to recognize a nurse or a veterinary technician from the world who has done, again, above and beyond in the field of animal welfare. She comes from Birmingham, and I have to get the pronunciation right, because in the UK we call it Birmingham, Alabama. I won't tell you, she wasn't packing a gun in her bag when we went out for dinner, but her friend was in her purse. So it was quite an interesting first meeting. But Debbie Whitton, as she will say in the film, has been in this business for quite a long time, and during that time she's learned an awful lot. I'm delighted to say that her nominator, that you will see, is with us as well tonight, Dr. Sandra. And really, Debbie has been closely involved with research animals, but as you will see now, she's also done many other aspects of work during her illustrious career in Birmingham, Alabama.
What got me into veterinary nursing was a lifelong love of horses and dogs, cats, pretty much any animals. Ended up teaching in a veterinary technology program, and then I moved into animal research at the University of Alabama in Birmingham. There, as veterinary technicians, veterinary nurses, we're able to raise the standard on some of the health care and enrichment that we can provide for these animals. So we encourage other veterinary technicians to think about this as a career choice. And who have we got?
This is Jackson.
Jackson, good job. I also work with the Greater Birmingham Humane Society. Our Alabama Veterinary Technician Association helped start some training classes that provide training in humane animal restraint and handling, as well as injection techniques and learning how to do that properly. So important to teach anyone that owns horses or is thinking about owning horses. There's a lot of care involved, so all that's important in introducing some young people to horses. And I think it can be a wonderful way to get children closer to our natural world and our animals, and thinking more about how to take care of them.
Her whole life she has been influencing students that she's had at the veterinary technician school that she taught at. And always when she was teaching, the animals were at the forefront, teaching that everything had to be about keeping them safe and healthy and doing it in a way that was not harmful to them.
I'm also a member of the National Veterinary Response Team. It is a group of volunteer veterinarians and veterinary nurses that work under the National Disaster Medical System. Our National Veterinary Response Team was developed to respond to the animal component of disasters. Choosing a veterinary technician, veterinary nurse for this award is very encouraging to me. I have been doing this a really long time. We are always happy when someone does get honored in our profession. So any kind of recognition is wonderful for the profession, and I'm thankful to have this part in it.
Welcome on stage, Debbie Whitton, our veterinary nurse global winner of the 2022 Welfare Awards. Welcome, Debbie. Well done. Lovely to see you again. So lovely to see you again. Good to see you. And really, you do all the work, don't you? These veterinarians, they take all the glory, but you guys really do all the work. Yeah, they agree. But you made the point briefly there, though, and in fact, our winner from Nigeria 2 years ago, the vet technician, said it's just so good that the WVA have decided to honor your profession. But you tell me, what does it mean, really?
Oh, it's so important and so appreciated. I thank the WVA for having this award for veterinary nurses, veterinary technicians, because it has been kind of a long road to get some recognition and to be seen by the whole profession as a crucial part of the profession, and veterinary nurses certainly are. You know, I know so many through the years that have done amazing things in their careers and within the veterinary profession. So.
And you also volunteered to go on projects. We just didn't have time to show it in the video, but there will be longer versions of the videos going out after the awards. You went out to Costa Rica to help out with an equine therapy charity or NGO.
Yeah, the Equitarian Initiative Project was started by Dr. Julie Wilson, and Dr. Sandra Foster and I were able to go and assist them in taking care of people's working horses, mules, and donkeys. And we went to Costa Rica. They go many different parts across the globe to help folks that have these animals that are crucial to their livelihoods, but they don't have veterinary care. So that was a wonderful experience, being able to go and assist veterinarians, and as well as they take veterinary students. So they get to see and learn some things they would never learn, certainly in the States.
And assume you and Sandra didn't bring your guns along with you, did you?
That's my co-worker.
Yes. Debbie, it's been a privilege to meet you and work with you, and I'm sure everybody will appreciate the work that you and your profession do around the world. Congratulations, and thank you so much. We are going to move to South Africa next. We may or may not have a live link. No, I'm told we can't get the link to our next winner. So I think this is our only winner who wasn't able to join us. But we do have somebody to come up and receive that award. I'll ask him to come up in a moment. But Karen Redemeyer, who is based in the Johannesburg area but works all around South Africa, is the perfect example of a vet who gives more. She, as you'll see, works with various organizations above the practice where she works. We're talking the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, and in South Africa where she works in Soweto, most of the people who come there just simply cannot afford basic veterinary care for their companion animals and other animals as well. So she's a leader in that area. She's a highly skilled equine vet as well, similar to Debbie, working with equine projects. And really, she is a very rounded person, and she has some very strident attitudes towards animal welfare, as we will now see as we catch up with her work on video.
I believe that every animal should have access to the 5 freedoms. And those 5 freedoms are the freedom of pain, the freedom to move around, free access to shelter, and free access to water and food. I found a job at the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals in Soweto. And this was a fantastic opportunity as a new vet. It was a mixed animal practice, and I really, really enjoyed working at the pace of what welfare work requires. I'm really just see myself as someone who goes to work every day, and the work I do is, in effect, working in the trenches of animal welfare, sorting out very real problems for the animals where their owners can't afford or don't even have access to veterinary treatments. Around about this time, I realized that I had a passion for horses. And through my equine work, I've ended up now being the vet at the Highveld Horse Care Unit, which is one of the biggest equine welfare groups in Africa. I love teaching people new skills that are going to benefit animals that are in their care. So I believe that education is absolutely paramount in any welfare organization. Education, education, education. I believe, regardless of the monetary value attached to the animal, that every animal deserves the very, very best possible care that I can give them, and included in that, kindness.
Actually, Karen couldn't be with us tonight, but we do have a very esteemed South African vet who is sat at the front here, known to many of you because Dr. Clive Marwick is on your General Council. He's also the former president of the South African Veterinary Council and the South African Veterinary Association. So, Clive, and I think Karen is actually watching at the moment, so a big round of applause for her. Welcome, Clive. Will you safely take this medal for her? And we'll be checking that you do give her the money, the check. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for accepting the award. Thank you. So, we are now going to move to Latin America. Always a very colourful area of the world when it comes to our winners. And our next winner, there's a lot of talk, some of it correct talk, some of it fashionable talk about one welfare, one health. This man lives the one welfare ideal. He and his team go to remote villages where the villagers have pets, they have cattle, they have agricultural animals, And he really goes above and beyond in not just educating them, but working with them to ensure they have an approach to one welfare in his country, which is Colombia. He is also got with him tonight because Juan understands English very well, but doesn't speak it brilliantly. He's brought his friend who helped to film the film you're going to see, so they will both join us on the stage. His name is Juan Calascao, and this is his work in Colombia.
Un reconocimiento a la trayectoria de hace más de 18 años, de todo un trabajo colaborativo, transdisciplinar, que tuvo sus inicios con la constitución del Grupo de Estudio de Fauna Silvestre HEDFAS, y fue ahí precisamente cuando empezamos a trabajar en pro de la conservación de las especies de fauna silvestre de nuestro departamento. En ese trabajo pues nos fue enfocando en lo que hoy venimos realizando bajo el enfoque de una sola salud o One Health, que es llevar un mensaje de sensibilización a las comunidades para que no solo piensen en la conservación de las especies faunísticas, sino también en la tenencia responsable de aquellos animales de compañía o animales de producción que son parte de su sustento diario. Considero que esto es también una gran oportunidad para que más veterinarios, no solo en mi país, sino que a nivel mundial, comiencen a aplicar estos conceptos transversales del bienestar animal, porque a eso es que tenemos que apuntarle, garantizar que estemos en un planeta cada vez más saludable, un planeta donde todos podamos vivir y compartir, pero sobre todo garantizar la vida.
Gentlemen, please welcome on stage Juan Calascao, and please come with us. What a hat! Fantastic. Well done. Brilliant work. Great camera work as well. Thank you. Would you like to go and get... Oh, gracias. For me? Great. The right way? Fantastic. Juan, just join us here. Now you're going to be doing the translating. No, stay there, as well as filming. Just, Juan, your reaction to the award and what do you think it will mean to the people of Colombia, Latin America, and as you said, other veterinarians around the world?
¿Qué significa haber recibido este premio para ti y cómo significa para todos los veterinarios de Colombia?
Good evening. Para mí ha sido muy importante este reconocimiento.
For me, it was very important, this recognition.
Porque de alguna manera permitirá que más colegas veterinarios
Because in this way, more colleagues and veterinarians,
se interesen en trabajar por el bienestar de los animales,
they get interested for working with animal welfare.
pero más allá de ello, interesarlos también por las personas y por el medio ambiente y las plantas.
And more than that, interesting also for environmental and people as well.
Ese debe ser nuestro deber como veterinarios,
That must be our commitment as a veterinarians.
trabajar de manera colaborativa e interdisciplinar,
Work as a collaboratively way, interdisciplinary as well.
donde la vida sea lo más importante.
Well, of course, life is going to be the most important thing.
Pura vida.
Muchas
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you very much for your translation. Juan Calascao. Oops, dropped the bottle. Must be the hat. So, I am a little bit biased with our next award because this is often the most enjoyable one to me because it is our student of the year. And as I said earlier, it's tough enough being a veterinary student with the curriculum that you have, but then working within that curriculum, going above and beyond in the area of animal welfare is extremely tough. So, also our students are young, and it's not easy to do this type of work, and sometimes it's not easy to come up on the stage or have somebody come and put a camera in front of you and film what you're doing. But our next winner is a truly deserving winner. Now, before she comes up and before we play the video, I'm going to ask Anna Shikovic, you take the hat. Anna Shikovic to join us with the presenting here. Anna is the worldwide president of the IVSA, the International Veterinary Students Association. And they have worked very closely with the WVA and Ceva in helping to support this award. Our winner comes from Europe, and in Europe she comes from France. And as you'll see now, she's working in a very varied area of animal welfare.
I want to put animal welfare in the clinic, like for example in consultation, because I want that the cat or the dog to be really comfortable with the visit. I try to speak with my assistant in order how to make them comfortable. I am now a qualified vet, but I like going back to school and to meet other students. I like doing conferences about the animal welfare because I think it's very important for all the students to know that we are caring about the animals when we are students, but also when we are vets. When I entered in the vet school, I wanted to work with wildlife animals because I really care about the dolphin, and in France we have a lot of new laws about the dolphin, and I wanted to create a tool in order to assess the welfare of the dolphin in captivity.
We are a research center open to the public, and we do research, conservation and education, but none of this could be possible if we are not sure that our animals are in good conditions. This has to be assessed in an objective way and scientific way, and that was exactly the job done by Anna.
Here during the observation session we have to observe all of the group, and during 15 minutes we will write all the behaviors that they are doing. And we have person above the water and we have person under the water in the submarine gallery. This data will be put in the Excel file. My criteria are in green or orange or red, and it will put action for the keepers in order to put all the criteria in green. I don't think about the fact that is it good or not to have dolphin in dolphinarium. I have to deal with it, so we have dolphin in a pool and we have to do something about that. So I want to optimize their welfare, but all the data that we are collecting could be used in scientific study, and this is my objective, that we can do a lot of exportation of this data and to help the dolphin in the sea, in the ocean.
We are so proud about the success of the project and Anna being awarded, because she worked so hard on this, and we are very, very happy because this project means a lot for us.
When I heard that I won this award, I don't believe it when I saw it. I really like that the people care about the animal welfare and the dolphin too, because it's quite controversial, this subject, the dolphin in captivity. And I am very glad that people care about the creation of new tools in order to assess and optimize the animal welfare.
Well done. Go and get your reward. Thank you, Anna. Hello, Anna. I mean, she's done an amazing job, hasn't she? And it's kind of just exactly the type of thing that the IVSA are trying to promote.
Exactly. I would like to congratulate you from the bottom of my heart, Anna, for your contributions to improving animal welfare, but also for being inspiration to all of us. I think this is beautiful that the students winning this award, because it's a perfect proof that we are not only the future of veterinary medicine, but we are a presence, already a presence, and it's a beautiful message that you send to all the people gathered together here on behalf of all of us. So thank you so much for all your work.
Anna, you hope to use this award to further your work, and I think you would like to work with wildlife in the future as well.
Yes, in fact, I am a vet in a small clinic with cats and dogs, but every end of the week I am working on a welfare animal project, because what I have done for my practice thesis of veterinarian, the Excel file, I want to do a real software in order to assess all the animal welfare of an entire zoological park.
Well, well done. It's been a privilege to meet you and work with you. Thank you very much, Anna and Anna. Thank you very much for joining us. So we just have 3 awards to go, and just a little bit of information. For those of you here in the UAE, you do have a local winner coming up very, very shortly. So stay with us, yes. Big local following here. But before we get to that, I want to move on to another North American vet who is the winner for the North America region. Now, Debbie mentioned that she worked with a disaster response team. And with some of the disasters that the US has to face, floods, typhoons, hurricanes, terrorism, pandemic, I have a simple question. When that happens and animals are involved, who are you going to call? Well, the answer is a guy called Dr. Jimmy Tickle, because Jimmy has taken the type of work that Debbie is involved with and really taken it to another level. He's highly respected in Carolina, where he comes from. He's also highly respected in the very famous Texas A&M University. And some of the work he does there is real leading edge, as you are about to find out now when we show you what he does.
Because of storms and disease events and emergency programs, I was recruited to go into that. Found myself at the Institute for Infectious Animal Diseases here at A&M, and have now started to work internationally. There are any number of types of animals you'll deal with in these events. It will range from companion animals, the dogs and the cats, to livestock and horses, to even exotic type animals. Thus, when you train people, you train them to be able to work not only with different types of animals, but different types of owners. What I'm going to do is demonstrate for you how you can start to come out of your suit. What's the last thing we're going to take off? Texas A&M is very concerned about prepping their students. They are the next generation. Here you can see that we're prepping students to protect not only themselves as they would go into an event that could be hazardous to their own health, but also in the way that they take the personal equipment off. They have to do it in a manner that they are free of whatever contaminant, whether it be biologic or radiologic or chemical, such that they don't take that to another farm.
Having this recognition just elevates the entire program, and the reality is that we need efforts like that have been present in North Carolina for many years and in Texas for many years. We need them around the country. We need them around the world. The reality is if you don't plan for animals, you can't respond well. If you don't respond well, then you're not only not taking care of the animal, but you're not taking care of the people either.
maybe a livestock trailer and a truck to be able to pull it, maybe a box truck too.
Hurricane Harvey is a great example. Texas has to train their responders to respond on behalf of diseases, and those same responders had to respond to Hurricane Harvey, which was a catastrophic flood with 50 inches of flooding.
It's extremely important, and we love having people like Dr. Tickle involved in this because it raises awareness to the larger response community.
When I trained as a veterinary student, I had no idea this job existed, and it has advanced to the point to where it has limitless potential. But veterinary students will only know that because they're exposed through opportunities like this award, to where they hear that a colleague has been recognized as part of a workspace that they were not really aware that existed.
From North America. Hi, Jimmy. You well? Great to see you. There you go. Jimmy, you made the point there that this award will help to raise awareness of the work you do and the work that people like Debbie do with these disaster response teams. But I was also fascinated when I went to that training center, which is unbelievable in Texas. The guy there off camera said, one of our major problems in disasters is people will not leave their pets, and then it becomes a huge problem. So are you hoping this award will not only lead veterinarians to think about disaster awareness, but also maybe train in that area as well?
Yes, I think so, Nick. I think the thing that we have to remember is that there are talents, as you're recognizing tonight, that in a disaster become individuals because they're separated. So that the job that I do is to bring all of your talents together on behalf of animals that are really suffering in disasters, and disasters bring about even a larger level of animal welfare issues than during a normal day. So how do we coordinate all of these talents and educate the next generation like Anna to know that they have support, that they can, in a disaster, be brought together to leverage all of their talents together in a family? If you ever respond with someone in a disaster, you become family. And what we want to do is recognize all the talents that are out there in the veterinary community, paraveterinary community, and bring them together as part of the response family so that animal welfare needs are met, whether they be wildlife, whether they be exotics, dogs, cats, livestock. Each of those have been mentioned. We just don't want them to be separate. We want to bring them together and then have a much more complete response.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a privilege to meet you. Congratulations. 2 awards to go. So I did promise a local winner. She almost could have been probably up here with Anna because she's fairly fresh out of university. In fact, I gather she is one of the first, or the first, stream of graduates to come out of the local veterinary school in Dubai, I think. But Wadima Al-Dahiri is an amazing young veterinarian, very strong young woman, very forthright, and an enormous believer in animal welfare. And similar to Anna, she has one foot in treating companion animals, sometimes stray animals, animals that are being reoffered for adoption. And she has another foot in the wildlife arena, as you'll see in a very special safari park not very far from here. But let the video do the talking.
Amazing. started my journey as a veterinary doctor at Dubai Municipality Veterinary Section. I worked with companion animals, mostly cats and dogs. The dogs can be surrendered as well in our facility, and prior to putting them for adoption, we sterilize them and we also vaccinate them.
I am really happy with her animal care and welfare volunteering work for safeguarding animal health and welfare. I had no second thought in selecting Dr. Wadima as a nominee of Dubai Municipality for the prestigious WVA Global Animal Welfare Award.
I have volunteered for the Cheetah Conservation Fund in Somaliland, Hargeisa in 2018. I personally worked with a cheetah cub. It was confiscated from the illegal wildlife trade. Her name was Mariam. I am currently a veterinary doctor at Dubai Safari Park. I start my rounds by checking which animal needs medical attentions. I'm currently working in two areas, outpatients or inpatients. Outpatients is where I would step out from the veterinary hospital with my equipment and all the medication, and we would visit the animal on site and deliver the treatment needed. As for inpatients are the animals that need close attention, and they are hospitalized at our facility. It might be a bit controversial, but you have to keep in mind that every animal that is here has a story. They still deserve to get the best medical care, and that's my job here, to make sure that all their animal welfare needs are being met. I believe that I would like to continue in wildlife as I'm very passionate about it, and I would like to progress in the field of conservation as it's related to animal welfare. Hopefully my future plans would be to go for postgraduate, because I always love to learn. I'll make sure that I never stop learning, because I want to provide the best services for the animals wherever I am.
Now, we have a very special guest as well, because Wadima's proud mother has come along tonight, and she's going to join us on stage as well. So, welcome both of you. Yeah! Well done. Very nice to meet you. Go and receive your award, both of you. Both of you will receive it. Wadima, you're obviously a very popular local winner. Your mum is very proud. I think I can see a little tear in the eye there. It's all getting a bit emotional. I get a bit emotional at this time because it's the culmination of a lot of work by everybody. But very similar to Anna, I love your comment there that even if animals are in captivity, they deserve welfare and they have a story. And we're hoping you'll make connections with some of our vets, including Vegeta, who's the most experienced wildlife person, but your thoughts about receiving the award and also for the UAE, because you have a very proud municipality in Dubai. And I have to say, I think we have the vets from the safari park here. I have never seen a hospital and conditions like that place. It's like the best animal hospital I've ever seen, and you have 5 veterinarians. You're one of a team working there. But you tell me how you're feeling.
Well, I'm very delighted that I'm receiving this award, and there is a quote that I mentioned in my file, and I always say this. The quote says that animals don't deserve sympathy, they just demand your humanity, and this award proves that I received this animal welfare award. And as I said in the video, it's very controversial that I'm working in a Dubai Safari Park and we still can maintain animal welfare. And this award is all about that. And this award is not just an individual work, it's actually for the entire UAE, for my entire team. They've always been so supportive. And I'm always inspired by the talents that I've seen today. So Very happy, speechless.
You're part of a very elite group. Thank you so much, Wadima, and her mum. Thank you so much. And of course, there will be a chance to meet all our winners at the reception afterwards. There'll be some food and drink immediately after. So we come to our final award. So a few years ago, as well as a vet technician and nurse, as well as a student, it was decided by the WVA and Ceva that we would celebrate the places that make these people into veterinarians. They make themselves, of course, but they need a good school, a good university, similar to the place that is started now in the UAE. So our final category is to celebrate the vet school or university around the globe that the judges felt has done the most, not just over the last year in the case of this university, and certainly not in the case of the president of that university, who will join us shortly, because as you will hear, he has been doing that job in animal welfare for quite a few years. I'm not going to keep you thinking any longer. It is in Germany, it is in the city of Hanover, and it is the University of Veterinary Care Technology University. And let me give you an idea of the type of work they are doing through our video.
What you see here is a part of our really great clinical skills lab, because here they can train. You see here a lot of animals and simulators. They can train in a stress-free environment every skills we need in our profession. And afterwards they can go also to the living animals and get the training over there. But this reduces a lot of stress for both for the animals and the students.
We are the One Health University, and our mission is animal health and human health. So animal health, all the animals you can see here, food producing animals, of course pets, horses, but also wildlife and laboratory animals. They are part of our mission as well. So there is animal welfare everywhere around us.
I am the professor of alternatives and complementary methods to animal experiments, and that means that I try to reduce the number of animals used for science, for scientific purposes. We have a virtual center for alternative and complementary methods to animal experiments, and this was funded in 2009. And this center gives all the people working on alternative methods the possibility to work together, to form projects interdisciplinary, and to bring all this from science also to teaching and bring it to the students directly. And this is pretty special at our university.
This was really a great honor and pleasure that we got this award, and I think it will stimulate all the professors, teachers here at the university to keep always in mind the animal welfare and transport them to the students.
The positive thing is that I had some time for it. So I'm here in my 21st year of service as a president for the University of Veterinary Medicine. So I'm very proud of that, but all my colleagues, nobody does it alone, all my colleagues are working together with me to achieve that goals.
President with us tonight, 21 years as president. Amazing. Great to see you. Gerhard Graef, you made me promise not to mention the 21 years too much, but you have to be the longest, I reckon you're the longest standing president of any veterinary university in the world, and possibly of any university, but you really instill, I mean, we could only scratch the surface with that video. You showed me that day and your staff every single aspect of the university is geared around animal welfare.
Yeah, I think it is our duty. It has been my duty for these more than 2 decades to care for animals, to care for humans, to care for the environment. It's all one big unit which we have to care for. It's our duty.
And animal welfare, as I said in my opening, it's non-negotiable now, isn't it, among students? I mean, people like Anna, the IVSA, and all our young vets particularly, and our older vets are obviously reflecting it, but you have to be in that space now.
Yeah, I think everyone accepts that. In all facets of our profession, veterinarians are in care for the animals, and we saw these examples from the younger and more experienced veterinarians. I think it is our duty, and we live it. We live it everywhere.
21 years, no retirement in sight yet, I hope. You're also a farmer, you keep cattle as well, so you're going to carry on doing it for a few more years?
Well, not too long actually, though it's my 3rd term as an elected president, and it ends unfortunately next year, later next year.
Well, you'll have more time to spend with your cattle, and I think your proud wife is in the audience as well, so thank you so much for traveling from Germany to join us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks a lot to everyone here in the room and to you taking these wonderful films and to have you with us in Hanover. That was great. And everyone is welcome to come and see us and join us.
Well, there you are. Griff, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's it. That's all our winners, and I think you'll agree we've had an amazing cross-section of veterinarians. You must be very proud as a WVA to have been connected with these people. As Pat said this morning, these things don't happen on their own, so thank you so much for the WVA. Thank you so much for Martin Mitchell, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer. Thank you so much to the authorities here in Dubai, in the UAE, for helping me, and all the other people who helped. And these guys often don't get a mention. I'd like to thank our AV team. Playing 9 videos is quite tough, and they did it absolutely flawlessly. So thank you, guys. I know I pushed you very hard, but you responded fantastically well. So that's it. Please join us for refreshments outside, and please come and meet our laureates and talk about their work, and please make connections with them, because I'm sure there may be opportunities in the future. We have... Oh yes, we'd like all our laureates or winners on the stage for a group photograph, please. And we'll do that, and then we'll do some interviews afterwards. But if the audience need to make their way to the refreshments, that's fine. But if you would join us on the stage for a group photograph. Thank you very much for your attention. You've been a great audience. Thank you.